Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I am filming movies that have really impacted me throughout my childhood, not including animated. These are all live action because otherwise this video would be a million hours long. But I was born in 1993 as just a reference, and these are the movies that I watched over and over and over growing up that I someday can't wait to share with my daughter when she's old enough. So I'm just gonna get right into it and start with my favorite movie of all time, and that is Newsies. I love this movie. We watched it in high school and I just became absolutely obsessed with it. And it was like the only 100 I ever got on a quiz in history class. But after that, my mom made sure to give me like any sort of content relating to Newsies that she could. She got me the DVD, she got me the soundtrack just so I could have it, and it's still to this day just my all-time favorite. I absolutely love this movie. I'm also gonna try to be brief with each movie, but next we have Titanic. Now this movie obviously came out when I was too little to watch it, but it was kind of my first like grown-up movie that I got to watch one day when my grandfather came over to visit, and we watched it and I loved it. My parents covered my eyes during the car scene, but after that, I was absolutely obsessed. It's where I discovered Leonardo DiCaprio, and every time me and my brother like got sick and were home at the same time, we would watch this because it was always on TV. And I still have like the original VHS tape of it, and it's just, but Leonardo DiCaprio and Christian Bale are my top two favorite actors of all time. So now this next one is, I don't want to speak on too much because J.K. Rowling has proved to be not a great person, but I would be lying if I didn't include it, and that is the Harry Potter movies. I love these movies. I was the perfect age when the books were coming out, when the movies were coming out. Like, I was the perfect age for it, and I just absolutely love them. I love the world. It's a huge part of the reason that I am who I am today. But that's Harry Potter. And then we've got like the movies that I think really got me into action movies, because I really liked Shia LaBeouf growing up, and I know he's got some issues now, so again, won't speak too much on him, but his movies really did influence me a lot growing up, and that is Transformers. I love the first one, and I have like a weird nostalgia for the second one because it was, my mom took me, my best friend, my brother and his best friend at midnight to see it, so it was like a real big event movie. So for that reason, the second one holds a special place in my heart, even though I know it's not great. And I don't really care for the third one, but I think, if I'm gonna be honest, Bumblebee is probably my favorite of all of the Transformers movies, but this one, the first one, really does hold a very special place in my heart and really is what got me into action movies. And then we've got one that is, I think it's like a staple for Christmas, to be honest, but that's Elf. My parents took me and my brothers to see this when we were on vacation, and it was like opening weekend. It was packed, and we had so much fun. I think we saw this at the Mall of America, I think. I'm not sure, but we saw it on vacation, and it was just such a fun outing as a family, and we were all laughing together, and it was like one that my parents enjoyed with us, the ones that we, the kids, enjoyed, and we watch it every single year, and it's just, I mean, it's a classic at this point. And then we've got, I wanted to be Carmen Cortez when I was growing up. She was like my idol. And of course, Spy Kids. The second one is the best one of the entire franchise, and I will not take any criticisms about that. But these were so formative to me as a kid, and I can't wait until my daughter will actually like appreciate these ones. But yeah, Spy Kids, top tier. I love Spy Kids. Like I said, I wanted to be Carmen Cortez. And then we've got my first like rom-com that I grew up watching. I went to go see this with my aunt and my cousin, and I spent a lot of time with them when I was younger, and we went to a lot of movies, and we just laughed like all the time. Like I think we saw Legally Blonde as well, and it was just a really special memory, and that is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. We laughed so hard during this movie, and we talked about it all night afterwards, and it just kind of became like one of my all-time favorite rom-coms. and I don't think it needed any sequels. The second one is watchable, but the third one, my husband and I went to go see, and I was appalled at how boring and bland and just not good it was. But this first one is absolute, utter perfection. It's absolutely hilarious. And then we've got Freaky Friday. I mean, I had to have a Lindsay Lohan movie in here. Even the sequel for this, I think the sequel is really, really good. I liked it a lot. But this one, I mean, classic body swap humor, Chad Michael Murray, like Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan, the cast is perfect. It holds up so well. I rewatched it last year before the new one, and it absolutely holds up, and it's just an absolute favorite. I wanted to be a musician after watching this movie. And then we've got another body swap one. It's a boy-girl thing with Kevin Zegers, who I grew up absolutely loving. And I don't know how this one holds up, to be honest. I haven't watched it in quite a while, but me and my best friend were obsessed with this. We watched it like every single time we hung out, and I just remember really, really enjoying it. So every time I look at it on my shelves, I think of her, and I think of how much we laughed during this movie. Like I said, I'd be curious to watch it now as an adult, but that's what this video is for. And it was a huge formative movie for me in my like early teen years. Speaking of like early teen years is Step Up. I loved this movie. I think I saw it like the week before school started. So it was like the summer was ending. Me and my mom watched this, and I just thought it was absolute perfection. Like that final like dance sequence is ingrained in my memory. It was absolute cinema. Absolutely loved this. I don't like any of the sequels. And it should have just been this one. But still, absolute classic. I absolutely love this one. And then we've got The Princess Diaries. This movie is one of my favorite movies to talk about because my dad, I've spoken before, has worked in movie theaters ever since I was a child, ever since he was 16 years old. And when this one was coming out, he took me on a daddy-daughter date where we went super early in the morning and we got orange juice and donuts, and then we went to the movie theater he worked at, and he ran a special showing just for him and I of this movie. And we ate our donuts and we drank our orange juice, and it was a core memory for me. So I just have such an appreciation for this movie. I think it holds up absolutely. Anne Hathaway is just, I can't wait. I think they're making a third one. The second one's good as well. I really like the second one, but something about this one is just, it's very special to me because of that memory with my dad, because now I do the same for my daughter, and I set her up with these special showings for just her and I, and it means a lot to me to pass that tradition down. And then it wouldn't be a nostalgia video without Hilary Duff, because you have to include her. And that is A Cinderella Story. Her and Chad Michael Murray are so good. She has so many iconic lines in this, and this one holds a special memory as well because I went with my cousin who's 4 years older than me. I'm a massive Hilary Duff fan. I am also a crier in movies, and my cousin is not. She's like the polar opposite. So when we sat down and I was crying about 15 minutes in, she looked at me and said, "I can't do this," and walked out and went and sat in the lobby for a little bit until I collected myself. And that's just a fun memory that I have with her, and we still talk about it all the time. But this is a great one, and I cannot wait to show my daughter this one. And then we have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This movie had me in an absolute chokehold. Like, when it came out on DVD, I watched this every single day. And when I finished it, I would re-put it back on with the director and cast commentary. So it's basically the whole movie playing, but with commentary from the cast and crew. I had a problem. I would probably watch this 2 times a day. I absolutely loved this movie, and it holds up, and I cannot wait for Greta Gerwig's version. Is it Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or is it just a Narnia movie? I don't know, but I cannot wait for Greta Gerwig's Narnia, because the sequels are not great for these. I don't rewatch them like ever, but this one is absolutely perfect, and I can't wait to see what she does with it. And then we've got The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. This movie is just like girlhood, and I had a really, really tight-knit group of close girlfriends growing up, and we would watch this movie. The second one too, I think I like the second one, but this one is much more nostalgic for me. But we all went to go see it together, and we kind of made our own like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and I love the books as well. But this one is just ultimate girlhood, and I think like a staple for like 2000s. And I, again, can't wait to introduce this one to my daughter as well. And then we have another movie that makes me think of my dad, and that is any Star Wars movie, but specifically Revenge of the Sith. And that's because that was the first one that I like actively remember seeing in theaters, and we went opening night. And I mean, Star Wars makes me think of my dad because he loves the franchise, but that core memory of just going opening night with my whole family, and Revenge of the Sith to this day is one of my favorites. But really, you could say that about any Star Wars movie because they make me think of my dad. And then we have another Shia LaBeouf movie, and that is Disturbia. This is what got me into thrillers. I absolutely loved this. This is another one that when it came out on DVD, I watched it every single day. To this day, I know every line of dialogue. I absolutely love it. It's kind of one of those movies where you don't want to watch it with me because I'm very, very annoying, but I have the entire movie memorized, and yeah, and I totally realize that that's annoying, and I just can't help it. Oh, and then we have a sad one, but it's a staple nonetheless, but it's Bridge to Terabithia. I read this book in school. I saw the movie. I'm a massive Josh Hutcherson fan. He's one of my all-time favorites, so I will watch anything that he's in. So obviously I had to see this, but it also holds a special place in my heart because this was when my dad was a manager at the movie theater that I spent like every single week at growing up. That it was closing, and this was the final movie that we went to go see. So not only is it like a sad movie, but it has like a very heartwarming place to me because this was the final movie that we all got to see in that theater that was so formative to me growing up. But I can't wait to watch this with my daughter, even though she will probably leave the experience slightly traumatized like we all were, but it's a rite of passage. And then of course, you can't talk about Hilary Duff without talking about the Lizzie McGuire movie. I love this movie so much. It's iconic, and I cannot wait till she's old enough to watch it so that we can go as Lizzie and Isabella for Halloween because that is like my dream. But this has another core memory for me because my mom and I got invited to a press screening for this movie, so I got to see it early. Me and my mom went together, and it was just an absolute blast, and I watched this way more than I should. But speaking of, I have tickets to see Hilary Duff, and I cannot wait to see What Dreams Are Made of live. Oh, I just can't stop thinking about it. And then we've got like one of the only movies that me and my brothers would agree on growing up, and that is The Sandlot. I love this movie. My parents love this movie. My brothers love this movie. So anytime my parents would take us to Blockbuster and we all had to agree on a movie to rent, this was the only one that we could ever agree on. So we rented it quite often. But I love this movie. I wouldn't know how to make a s'more without this movie. And again, I know I keep saying it, but again, this is another one that I can't wait to introduce my daughter to, but it's a classic. You gotta love it. And then we've got Kicking and Screaming, which is my all-time favorite Will Ferrell movie, which I think is a hot take because this movie has a terrible Rotten Tomatoes score and I don't understand it. I think it's one of the funniest movies ever made. This is another one. I know every single line of dialogue by heart. I am very obnoxious while watching this movie, but it makes me laugh so hard. I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago. Absolutely holds up. I absolutely love this one. And then we've got like the first like kind of grown-up romance movie that I remember watching, and that's A Walk to Remember. My mom and I watched this together. We cried. We just absolutely fell in love with the story, and the music, oh my God. But I actually walked down the aisle to Only Hope, Mandy Moore's version, for my wedding, and it was just like, I love that moment in the movie, so it was absolute magic that I got to do that for my own wedding. But I love this one. It makes me cry every single time I watch it. Next, we have the movie that had the biggest impact on me growing up, and that is Cheaper by the Dozen. I watched this movie in theaters probably about 13 times, and I'm not kidding, because my dad worked in a theater, so me and my brothers would go to work with him on the weekends, and we would just watch movies while he worked, and this is always the one that I picked. And it just got better and better every single time with every viewing. And it holds up so well. It's so funny. It's so heartwarming. The cast is perfect. They don't make family comedies like this anymore that truly has something for everybody to enjoy. And I just absolutely love this one. The sequel I really enjoy as well, but it does not hold a candle to the first one. Absolutely love this one. I just rewatched this one as well, and I'm sorry, that scene with the "we love the coach" gets me every single time at the end. I love it so much. Perfect, 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 perfect movie. So those are some of my nostalgic favorites from my childhood. I want to do another one with TV shows because I have like Lizzie McGuire on DVD, That's So Raven, all of that. So I would love to make another video. I would love to know what movies you loved growing up, which ones had a huge impact on you that you can't wait to then show your families. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.